What's going on, guys? So I am out here in Elkhart, Indiana at the Dealer Open House event, and in front of me I am taking a look at something I've never seen before from a brand I've never heard of before. This is Axiom. It's an all-new manufacturer of luxury fifth wheel toy haulers. This is the Vendetta. This is going to be game-changing for the industry. I had a chance just to glance inside, but I know very little about it. What I do know is the information you shared, and let's talk about the specs real quick. Hang tight, I'll be right back. So I have AJ Jones, who's one of the co-founders of Axiom, and boy, you guys have produced a beautiful, beautiful luxury RV. This thing is gorgeous. So if you could, real quickly, can you go over the weight, the length, payload capacity, and maybe even the running gear?
So this is our heaviest model by far. So the side patio on the back is a pretty heavy situation. So this length on this one is 47 feet long. So you've got a big unit here. So that goes the weight, about 21,000 pounds, and you have a GVWR of 24,000 pounds.
Okay, so dry weight of 21K, GVWR of 24, so you have 3,000 pounds worth of cargo capacity
on this particular model. Okay. Yes.
How long is the garage?
14 and a half feet.
Oh, so that's a huge garage.
Yes. So
running gear. What are you doing with the running gear?
So this is really cool. So we did something different here. So we actually partnered up with Lippert on their brand new CURT Torrent suspension system.
Okay.
So this is a true independent suspension system. So it actually uses coil springs and actually independently operates. So it literally truly reduces vibration by over 50%. It's amazing what this does. I've actually physically rode in a unit with and without the suspension. It's a game changer. I mean, imagine going from a 5.2 on the Richter scale every day going down to a 1.2. I mean, it's that drastically different of a situation.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned that. So what a lot of people may or may not know is that I actually introduced it to the market along with the Helix PinBox.
Yep.
So I see that you're using both. And the way I like to explain this to people is automatically people think, well, it reduces shock by 50%. That means your crown molding has 50% less chance of being damaged.
Your appliances.
Your cabinets, everything has half the chance of dealing with the problems that traditional suspension cause.
Absolutely.
So that is really cool, and I like to make that point because that is not an insignificant thing to talk about. I see you have the Lippert 6-point hydraulic leveling system on it.
Sure do.
You know, the bulk of this RV looks so fantastic. It seems as if it should weigh a lot more than 24,000K loaded.
Yeah.
Which is pretty crazy. If we can, let's start from the front underneath. Yeah. And work our way back, because I'm seeing some really cool things. This is definitely a special frame. So
this is a special frame. So we have this is a drop frame storage in here. So as you notice, we have the cargo tray that goes out the front, so it gives you all additional storage. So we did some really cool things here that we actually have a patent on, and some different exclusive features here. One is, you're going to notice we actually raised our upper deck height up about 10 inches taller than most of these to accommodate some of your larger trucks. Your truck beds heights seem to be getting larger and larger, and a lot of people like to just do lifted trucks or something like that too, so we wanted to accommodate for that. Because we have that additional height, we kind of had this crazy idea to actually have this option as having a patio swing here. So kind of cool, like you can actually fit 2 adults here comfortably on a patio swing, so it's a cool feature there.
And you're still using the space saver upper deck up here, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, I can tell because it has the Rhino wings up there with the PinBox.
So
that is cool. I love that roll-out front storage.
Absolutely. And another really cool thing about this, everybody asks, they're like, man, where's the generator at, AJ? So something really cool that we did, we have an exclusive feature that we actually take our generator and we put it in a rubber isolated cradle, and it sits behind the rear axle. So in order, by doing that, it not only gives you better distribution of weight and everything else, but it also opened up all that area in the front here that's typically wasted with generator space. Now we pick up all that pass-through storage.
And I'm assuming you also still have your fueling station in the back.
We do.
And it makes the run between the generator and the fueling station much shorter.
Very short, much shorter. It's only literally like, I think it's a foot as far as that goes. And one of the cool things about that too, one of the pains of a toy hauler oftentimes is priming these things to actually get them started for the first time. It takes probably 20 minutes to prime the fuel getting all the way to the generator. You don't have to worry about that now with ours.
True. I see a lot of cool LED light stuff going on here.
Yes.
I see a controller right there, so I imagine that controls the lighting out here.
That controls everything. So you actually, from outside here, so zone 1 is your right hand side, zone 2 is your left hand side, zone 3 is your inside lights as far as that goes. So we can change all colors at the same time. So another really cool patent we have on this as well, we're the first ever we actually integrated our turn signals not only into the front cap, but also also on our sidewall too. So you legit have a 47-foot turn signal when you turn your turn in this RV.
Cool.
So it is awesome.
And does it shift colors from this to like an amber color? Or
yes. The minute you plug your 7-way pin, the 7-way cord up to the actual truck itself, these lights automatically go to amber as far as that goes, and then you can only have the amber lights when it's plugged into the truck.
That is super cool. So what do we have going on down here?
So this is really cool. We got our box storage down here. So you got the rubber, so for more storage, just anything you need as far as that goes. These are actually for the lights themselves. This is for a slide out. So we actually integrated this slide out here. So as you see, our steps are actually built into the actual slide out itself.
Yeah, the new Suburban steps too.
Absolutely, nice. They're very good looking as far as aesthetically wise and everything else. So, but in order to get the slide out, because the steps are in it, we put a button right there too. Now you can also control that from our module inside, so you can control all Bluetooth too. So you can do it with your phone if you want to. We also have voice control in the inside too, so you can actually ask for turn on lights or check tank capacities or whatever you're at as far as that goes. So in this here too, you got your solar charge controller. This is for the energy management system. So something we did to be able to run all three ACs all the time if you want to, as far as that goes.
What type of solar do you have on the roof?
Solar, we have two 200-watt panels as far as that goes.
Can you expand that? Is there real estate up there?
Oh yes, that's another cool thing. So as we're talking right now, I'll expand into that more. So something that we really did that was unique. You'll see right here, our air conditioners.
My eyes gravitated to that instantly. You said steps. I wasn't looking at the steps. I was looking at the mini split.
So we actually have a patent on this too as well for mounting a mini split system onto the sides of the fifth wheel. So what's really cool about this is literally, so this particular model right here is right about 550 square feet, but that one mini split right there is powerful enough to actually cool this entire unit. We theoretically could actually cool this whole thing with one mini split.
Do you have one air handler, or do you have more than one tied to that?
We have 3 mini splits on this thing. So legit, we had it up, we was like 95 degrees early in the summer this year. Man, we had to crank this thing up. We were able to get this thing down to 61 degrees. That's awesome. When you look at every other toy hauler out there, you're really lucky to get it below 20 degrees below ambient temperature. And that's pretty much every fifth wheel out there in the marketplace. So we really think we have something special with that. Really giving our customers just a whole nother level of comfort and convenience. Another cool thing about that is that it actually double functions as a furnace too. So it's equally as efficient as a furnace, just as it is an air conditioner.
Oh, that's cool. And it's a heat pump.
It is a heat pump.
That's how it does that. So I'm noticing something that you probably haven't been asked by anybody else, but these are some very large rack and pinion arms you have for this roof frame. So I'm assuming, correct me if I'm wrong, that this is the monster beam.
Yes, it is. It is. It's the monster beam. So the 12-inch monster beam, both on the lower beam and the upper beam.
So there's a lot to be said about that, because you probably could have gotten away without one, but picking the monster beam means that you went with the heaviest duty per foot beam that Lippert offers for frame manufacturing.
Absolutely. So it's not only a monster beam too, we also add a 2-inch crush tube below that for actual additional structural rigidity too, as far as that goes. So
that's awesome. And just because you also have the CURT touring suspension, they add a brace around that as well, because it's put on as a module.
Yep.
So that's really good, and I love to see that support you have going on here. So where the risers go up right there, you traditionally don't see that type of reinforcement on the upper deck area. So that's cool that they're doing that. And when you go to the monster beam, you also get the 1/4-inch thick sidewall on the upper deck beam going around there as well.
Absolutely. Really, and something that's really unique to us too, as for our sidewalls. So we're different than anything else out there. So there's a lot of class action lawsuits right now going on for cracking sidewalls and everything else. So we decided we want to do something different. We are a little heavier, and we understand that, but when we actually constructed our sidewalls for the first manufacturer, we actually use steel. So we actually have aluminum alloy steel that we use for our sidewalls. So it's literally 72% stronger than any of the aluminum sidewalls out there in the marketplace.
Oh wow, that is really cool.
And we vacuum bond laminate them too as well. Most manufacturers out there simply pinch roll their walls. It doesn't really get a good distribution of glue when where the full lamination goes on, whereas opposed to we actually vacuum bond laminate them, so you get a very good distribution of the glue.
So just help me understand. So if I'm looking at the sidewall right here, you mentioned aluminum, you mentioned steel. And are you using things like Asdel or anything like that in here as well?
Double Asdel. So we're Asdel on the inside of the wall and Asdel on the exterior.
Asdel on the outside, aluminum, but then a steel structure?
No aluminum. So we're steel framed and then you have Asdels, the two substrates for the inside and the outside, and then you have your
so
decor
your wall
paneling.
studs are steel.
Yes.
That's what you were saying. Okay,
Yes,
no, that is
yes,
awesome. That
yes.
is really, really cool.
And something you'll notice too is our fiberglass here, something that's really different. We're the only manufacturer in the industry that's using this fiberglass. We partnered up with Crane Composites, so they working with them. This is their new Noble Icon glass.
Yep.
So this is not found in the RV industry. Typically, you only find this in like
diesel pushers,
high-end diesel pushers, or high-end boats and stuff like your Ski Nautiques or Malibus and stuff like that. They don't actually paint those boats. They're actually a high gloss gel coat.
I'm actually very familiar with this because a brand of fifth wheel that no longer makes fifth wheels also used this.
Yep.
And it was excellent. And they're related to a motorhome brand that a lot of people would recognize very quickly.
For sure.
That's very cool. I'm very familiar with the Noble glass. That is awesome.
It's a lot stronger, way more shine. I mean, unbelievable.
Yeah.
And we actually tested this up to 15 years and had zero fade. We got a little bit of yellowing in the white at the 15-year mark, but the black was actually untouched. I mean,
what's crazy is the fact that typically to use this fiberglass, it has to be a hung sidewall.
Yes.
And the fact that you're able to do it with pinch and vacuum bonded is pretty substantial, because that was not something you could do in the past.
Nope, for sure.
So that's really cool. I see you have the spray port out here.
Spray port, you got a couple 110s there, so everything's available.
I love the fact that something as simple as a power disconnect switch. C-Flow is not the cheapest out there. They're probably the most expensive because it's a marine product.
Yep.
And most people are going to simply use the red and black ones that are super cheap and they buy in bulk.
Yep.
But to use C-Flow brand itself is actually telling, because you didn't skimp on brand or quality.
Well, even talking about that too as well, let's get into our wiring. So everything is, we make our manufacturer own wiring harnesses for the unit when we build them. Everything is color coded and labeled, so it's very easy to trace if you were to ever have an issue. However, you go to most RV, pretty much any RV you go out here, everyone, I like to call it the rat's nest. Yeah. So all their wiring is tucked up behind this passageway, and it's just nasty. It's wiring everywhere. It's just a nasty mess.
Well, in the towable market, there's really only two brands that have wiring harnesses aside from you guys now, and one of them only has partial wiring harnesses. So what you guys are doing is pretty dang phenomenal. Wiring harnesses are great because you don't have that excessive cabling ran everywhere.
But you see here too, we're very proud of what we do and how we actually run all of our electronics in here. We're not trying to hide any of that. Both of those walls fold out, so you have full access to everything that needs to be accessible from an electronics standpoint too. So,
very good. Are you running a water manifold on here?
We actually just changed that. We are going to here shortly. We're gonna have basically we're gonna have a front and rear. So there'll be the front half of the RV and the rear half of the RV will have its own manifold.
Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect.
Another thing too that I'll bring up as we're talking about the exterior of the unit here that really won't be able to see it on the upside of this is we're the first manufacturer to develop the clear span roof. So our roof, when we ended up taking the air conditioners off of the roof, I said, man, you know, the number one warranty issue out there is water infiltration, and we wanted to avoid that by all means necessary. So what we did is we came up with the industry's first ever clear span roof. So not only we take the air conditioners off there, we took off the shower domes, we took off the vent fans. That's actually your vent fan right there that's in the sidewall, as far as that goes.
So basically you removed the need for gaskets or sealant or lap seal and any of that, because you remove the holes from the roof.
Absolutely. You eliminate the holes, you eliminate the issue. So
what's your roof membrane?
We use an TPO on that, on the roof. So it's a lifetime warranty on that, on the roof membrane too, as well, as far as that goes. But another thing, you know, so we do have, the only thing we have on the roof is we have 4 vents, because that's made it for code for the gray tanks and everything else, the gray and black tanks, and we have 2 solar panels. That's legit all we have on there. So we talked to some guys as far as the Turnabon. So we've been working with those guys. So we went to the Turnabon seal, and we're using that. So, but we're like a lot of other manufacturers went to a Turnabon, but they're doing a Turnabon only. Yeah. We went a step above that. So we actually do the base in a Turnabon, and then we actually use a self-leveling seal over the top of the Turnabon. So essentially we have a double seal. So
and what a lot of people don't realize as well is that when you have an AC unit on top, that there's no sealant around that. It's a foam seal that's compressed against the roof.
It is.
And that's why a lot of people have problems, because sometimes in the factory dirt, dust, debris can get in there, or it can shift because maybe you tap something or hit something, and that's how water leakage can occur. So by removing it, you've also removed a path of condensation that has to run off as well. And a mini split being down here, it's probably just dripping straight out on the ground pretty much.
And that's the other benefit to the mini split. Well, multiple benefits, not only from the cooling capacities and the heating capacities, but also one of the really cool things is all the drainage that does come off of that, it actually goes, we drain it on the off-door side of the unit. So I know when the typical times you're running the air conditioners, you get all kinds of smears, all kinds of drips and everything else. That goes all 4 corner, you're sitting there getting dripped on the whole time. Ours doesn't doesn't do that. So none of our mini splits do that, and they're super quiet.
Okay.
Like literally, you're inside this thing, it'll be on running full tilt, and you can't hear a thing. So
that's awesome, and that's the benefit. I mean, most people know the benefit of a mini split.
Yeah.
It's just been difficult to integrate them into fifth wheels, and
Yep.
it seems like you've done a really good job.
We're the first manufacturer to actually be RVIA certified for actually utilizing the mini split system. So there's been a couple other suppliers that have tried it, have not been successful at it. We are actually the first manufacturer to get RVIA sealed with having the mini split system. So.
I see you're using the slim rack for your slide out mechanism up here.
Yes, we are.
A lot of people don't realize that is significantly better than Schwintek.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people like to reference that it looks similar in a way, but it's not. This is a really good mechanism, and they're using this on high-end motorhomes as well because
Absolutely.
It's been proven to be a lot more reliable.
And that's, when it came to slide outs, that was a clear choice for us. I mean, when we went with that, just because of the reliability factor of it, not messing with cables and everything else as far as that goes.
Yeah.
And then also, of course, the hydraulic through frame slide frames as far as that goes. Just the bar none, both of these, the most reliable slide outs so that you can get out there, period. So
that's awesome. And again, I love the steps from Suburban. These are relatively new, but what I like about them, two things: a composite deck. You have holes on it to drain dirt, dust, debris, all that stuff off of it. But the nicest factor here is just that ratcheting effect of dropping a leg down. You don't have to pop a pin out, put the leg down, pop a pin back in. There's literally a lever right there. You lift up when you want to retract it, and you just pull it straight down, it snaps into place. Those are awesome, and they're super lightweight.
Absolutely.
You don't need a hydraulically system at all.
No, they're super lightweight. They're all composite too. So another really cool exterior feature that you'll see on this particular model is we use our Girard awnings. So they're legless awnings, so we're not affected by where we put slide outs or anything else. That goes. You have no arms on it.
Motorhome. This feels like staying right here. Yeah. You feel like you're in front of a luxury Class A diesel pusher.
That's what we hear all the time. So honestly, they say, "Man, is that thing a Prevost or something?" It does. It has that super high end look into it.
I think my only concern, and I think it's a legitimate concern, you can quantify me if I'm correct or not, is it does sit relatively low to the ground. So you would have to, in some areas, be a little cautious with your breakover angle if you're leaving it. But any drop frame unit can deal with that.
Yep.
But it seems as if because of how you've designed yours, you've skirted it very similar to a Class A diesel pusher.
Yes.
So the ground clearance is always something you have to be aware of when you're taking a big motorhome or a big coach anywhere.
Yep.
And I would imagine that this is probably a concern that people should be aware of and just plan your trips accordingly.
Yep, absolutely. Now, look, it's the same heights as anybody else out there that's running a drop frame storage as far as that goes and everything else. So I mean, there's plenty of manufacturers out there that haven't. Even you look at some of the ATCs that sit way even lower. They actually have wheel wells and theirs and everything else too. So I mean, they've had a lot of success with that too, and when not having to worry about hitting it. But it is something that you definitely would want to make sure you're accommodating for when you are going out. So
well, let's work our way inside.
Absolutely.
I mean, I want to show people what I saw when I glimpsed in from the back.